Ben Harmison and Darren Stevens came to Kent's rescue after a bad start to their latest LV County Championship match with Worcestershire at New Road, but both men missed out on deserved hundreds. Put in, Kent began well enough, with Rob Key and Sam Northeast opening up with a trouble-free stand of 21 in the first 5 overs, before things started to go horribly wrong, with 4 wickets falling for 4 runs in 29 balls. Gareth Andrew produced a magic little spell, starting with a wicket of Northeast, who edged to Moeen Ali. Then, in his next over, Andrew had Daniel Bell-Drummond leg before for a couple, making it 25 for 2. That became 25 for 3 in the next over. Key the man to go this time with a feathered inside edge off Alan Richardson, the umpire eventually raising the finger. And the score was still on 25 when Brendan Nash soon followed, giving Andrew his 3rd wicket in an opening spell of 9 overs, 3 for 20. So a recovery was required from the visitors, and that was led by both Harmison and Stevens. The former has found some good form of late, while Stevens has been tremendous for much of this championship summer. This not the first time that he's had to dig his side out of a hole this year. The job for these two first up was to get through to lunch without losing any further wickets, and that's just what they were able to do, as none of the Worcestershire attack could match Andrew's efforts. With that done, the mood changed a little in the afternoon. The stabilisers were off and the gears were upped. Stevens hit a 4 and this straight 6 off Andrew to reach his 50 off 72 balls, another splendid effort from the 37-year-old. Harmison was naturally a little slower in getting to his half-century, which arrived with this 2 off Jack Shantry. Harmison had required 121 balls for his 50, an innings including 8 fours. Now these two just needed to keep the much-needed partnership going. It was already well into 3 figures. And on it went. Stevens is arguably in the best batting form of his life this year, and this was yet another example of his skill and power, while Harmison is visibly growing in confidence with each innings. He is setting one personal record after another this season. Stevens has hit more maximums than any other player in the Championship this year. This was his 18th as he again moved into the 90s. About the only thing he's done wrong this summer is get out in the 90s, and it happened again here for the 3rd time. On 95, he turned a straight ball from Joe Leach to Ali to end a brilliant partnership on 174. Stevens has now scored 720 runs in his last 10 championship innings. Geraint Jones then came in, hit 4 quick 4s and then edged a cut off Graham Sesford behind, giving the RAF Corporal his 1st wicket on home soil. Harmison was still there and wanting to push the total way past the 218 for 6 at the fall of Jones's wicket. The former Durham man also had his eyes on a 2nd century in recent weeks, having scored one in Cheltenham last month. He now moved into the 90s. But he then lost his captain, James Treadwell, at the other end after he was trapped in front by Shantry on 10 at 248 for 7. Harmison followed in Shantry's next over, just 4 runs short of his ton. He moved too far across his stumps to be bowled by the left-armer, leaving with his side 8 down with 257 runs posted. With the second new ball nearly due, Worcestershire would have hoped to get the innings over and done with quickly, but they were thwarted by Mitch Claydon and Callum Haggett. Neither batsman looked like a tail-ender as they produced some delightful shots, especially these cover drives, to start to really frustrate the home attack, who would have expected to have had their feet up well before the close of play. Instead, they watched this pair of left-handers put on 52 runs in 16 overs for the 9th wicket. So the total was on 309 by the time that Claydon was brilliantly held by Ben Cox to give Richardson his 45th championship wicket of the season. Claydon was out for 33 and Haggett was left stranded on 34 when last man Mark Davis edged Shantry to Ali right at the end of the day. Kent were all out for 324, a score they were no doubt happy with given their inauspicious start. Andrew finishing with 3 for 81 and Shantry 3 for 69. Just how good that total is will become a little clearer on day 2 when Worcestershire respond with the bat.